Good morning and happy Thursday. All right, it is Friday Eve. We got the market moving lower overnight. Check if there's any news coming out today. Not really. All right. So last night I was watching the Asian session, and it did a whole lot of not shit, as you can see. Nothing. And then London gave us the move. So I think, I'm gonna. I need to start trading London, I think, because look at this. Like every fucking London session is now looking like the New York session used to. Because like, what have we been getting in New York? Nothing. I mean, some days, we've had good trend days recently, but even in between the trend days, it's like they turn the market off when New York opens. But you can see that we came down to a level that I had on the chart yesterday, and what happened right there? That was the old time base range from the left. What happened? Bounce. We bounced right off that time base range, the low of it. Let's see where this high is at. And then here on ES, we did come down and we pushed back up, and it, the range that I had, or the fib that I had drawn on that swing that hit in the overnight session 2 days ago. Uh, you can see how we came down, we came back up, and now we're using that as resistance. So we may see a move up at the open, just due to the profit taking from the overnight session. Because you can see we did come down about, let me just look at that on NASDAQ. Yeah, about 400 points. So I would expect there to be some level of profit taking back to the upside, and then we may see that continued move down. Given that, where's the weekly? Yeah, I mean, we got a very large bearish weekly candle. All right, we got about 10 seconds for the market to open. Let's see how we play out. All right. The opening bell went off in my living room. So we're open. All right. Well, the good news is that ES and Nasdaq are looking very similar this morning. They're not fucking going the other way, opposite of each other. All right. So there's that move up off the open, as we had discussed. All right, so this previous or this fib that I drew on one of the swings over on the left or to the left, you can see how we came up back to it. We rejected off of that 30% level, pushing through it. Could we see this become support, and then we push up into this other fib that I drew? Probably we could. We could see a bigger push up, but with how much we came down overnight, it kind of is signaling to me that we may see lower prices. But again, it's Thursday and the weekly opening range is above us. So, the market likes to balance itself. So we could see that move up back to the weekly opening range between today and tomorrow. So let's put a line up here. We're going to put it right where, we're discussing this, and we're going to make that let's make it poop brown. Okay, so no, that's not enough poop. Make it Taco Bell lettuce poop green. Okay, so that is going to be an area that we're looking at, and I mean you can see the weekly opening range for Nasdaq is way up here, right? So do we get all the way up there? I'm going to say no, but we're still going to mark that out just to see where we end up tomorrow. So we got some levels marked out. Those levels that I've had on the chart on Nasdaq, those time-based ranges really do hold some weight in the market. So let's see. Break it down to the 1 minute. Let's see how we play out here. We did get that push up, off the open, the profit taking. We do have this level here that we could just retest and then push up. And yeah, wow, that is I mean, you'd have to have a split second reaction to get in on that. But look at that. That is a 60-point move in less than like 2 seconds. What the fuck? Y'all saw that, right? It went touch and then it just like that's 100 points and almost 100 points in less than a minute. Holy shit. We're gonna wait. We are going to wait. All right. Holy shit. Off that. That's wild. Literally, as I said, we could see a bounce from here and it said, yeah, bing, just fucking gone. We'll take that off in case FSP comes in here. All right, we're coming up to that value area low from the overnight session. See how we react off that level. If we coming back into the area where I drew this fib as well from this swing. Let me put the cursor on. From this swing here. That's what this fib is for. Same thing on NASDAQ. Okay, we are seeing a little bit of a rejection there. And then here on ES, we did You know, as I was saying, if it came down, we retested the 30%, which is also the same kind of level that Nasdaq bounced off of here from the high that we broke through, and then we pushed up about 15 points. So we'll see if they want to keep sending this higher or if that was just a fake out to trap buyers and then push us back down. Let's see what's going on here. All right, we're seeing a tiny bit of weakness here. And that 5-minute candle opening up and rejecting off of that 50 SMA. Let's see if this pullback is just a retest of the moving average, and then if we, continue to push higher from there up into this area, the 482, up to like 500s, 550s. Let's see where we're at on the higher time frame. So on 30-minute, we pushed up to that 10 SMA, and we did push down a little bit off of that, which we hit there. The hourly, we're not. Ooh, look at that! Look at that. Okay, so on the hourly, the 10 SMA is lining up with the 50% of this swing up here. So we may see a move up to this like 519 and then 723 on ES. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I want to try to long up to that 50%, but it's not It's not looking too promising right now. You know, especially if we were to enter off the break of the high of this candle here that came down. You know, we did a double bottom there on the 20 SMA, and then we pushed up past the high of this candle at 55. So if we entered at 55, our stop loss would be down here at 90, and that's about a 60-point stop loss. Um, so did not get in on that. Although it looks like it does want to keep pushing higher, you know, we could have a good chance of us going up there. Which is kind of how slow we're moving now. I don't want it to not take these highs and then, you know, come back down. And we have the 5-minute or the 15-minute opening range forming here in about 40 seconds. So you can see how the moving averages, the 10 is starting to curl down a little bit, right? Could see another retest of the 20 and then we push higher, but that's what I was worried about. It was entering up here, us not taking the high, and then, you know, we get a deeper retracement back down, take the stop, or, you know, our stop, take the stop out, and then, you know, we could find support to continue pushing. ES did do a little eat over the highs, so let's see what NASDAQ wants to do here. See, and we would have been close to stopped out right there. Hi, Paul. You want to come lay down? Come on. Big old guy. Look at this. Look at this guy. What you doing? Hmm? See, we would have been stopped out on that long if we had just entered off of that break of that candle. I've seen this movie before, you know, once or twice. So, what you doing, silly head? We are rejecting off of that 20 SMA on the 15-minute. This could be a good play to take the short back down to the opening range low. Let's see. ES is kind of lagging behind NASDAQ today. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. What you doing over there, Paul? I want to see how we react here off of this low, the internal low at 705 on ES, because we could see a move back up and then we come down, or it could just go all the way down to that opening range low. But we are gonna wait. We are gonna wait. Okay, we are getting a little bit of a push back upwards. We took that low, internal low at 705. The reason I was saying that, all right, we got a SBS forming, so I mean, it could be pushed back up, take the opening range high. Yeah. How much, how much higher do we go from there? Don't know. I mean, look at the difference in the hourly candles here on NASDAQ and ES. NASDAQ is pushing down, down, down. ES is still kind of holding itself up. Excuse me. Okay, we got the moving averages crossing down, the 10 and the 20 crossing down on NASDAQ. ES, they're like coming together, like they're pinching their fingers. See how we react. Let's see if we go down and take that opening range low on ES. It's looking like NASDAQ wants to, so. I do like that rejection there off of that little push back up. NASDAQ took opening range low. Oh, hold on, let me see. Seeing here on ES, we are at the 10 SMA, so we could see a little bit of a bounce, but NASDAQ looking like it wants to roll over keep going to the downside. YM's kind of looking like it wants to, what is that, like a bull flag or bear flag? So let's see. NASDAQ getting that reaction back up. Right off the 20 SMA there on the 5-minute. I'm looking at shorting ES. That's what I'm looking. I'm looking for shorts here. I'm not looking for longs. Looks like we do want to continue lower, but we got the hourly candle closing, new one opening up here in about 6 minutes. So let's see what happens. What's up, buddy? Come on. You want to come lay down? You want to come lay down? Come on. Yeah, come on. You can come lay down. Big guy. You're so funny, Paul. You're so funny. You want to lay down, but then you get mad. Hey, why are you biting my hair? Why are you biting my hair? What are you doing? Hmm? What are you doing? Oh, man. All right, you can see why I wanted to wait until short, because NASDAQ came down here and took the opening range low. ES was moving down, but then it found, the 10 SMA and it pushed right back up. NASDAQ, kind of did the same thing. It wicked through the 20 and then it started to push back up. So let's see. Hourly, that is still way up there. So okay, let's see if NASDAQ wants to push below this opening range low. And then we could play a break and a retest of that to the downside. YM is looking like it wants to fall here too, so that's a good sign for us. We're just waiting. Been doing really good this week of just kind of remaining patient, letting the setups form before just jumping in. So we're going to keep doing that. Okay, we got NASDAQ below that opening range low. The hourly candle's looking pretty nasty. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting. It looks like ES does want to come down and take that opening range low as well. We're about 3 points away from it. So our our bias was correct. You know, it's just I didn't really have an opportunity for entry because where do you enter right here? I mean, sure, you could have entered here, you know, off that candle, the doji or hammer, whatever you want to call it. Um, just the way that ES has been swinging is gross. All right, we got the last minute before the hour. New hourly candle opens up. Um, we did reject off that overnight session value area low on Nasdaq. ES, we came back. We're right back down to it. Uh, bounced off of it. So we'll see how this hourly candle opens up. All right, we're at the 50% of the hourly time base range here on Nasdaq. If we start rejecting off of this, I may be looking for shorts with a stop above like 409 down to the pre-market lows here at 241. Although on the 5 minute, you know, it looks like the moving averages do want to start to curl up, but YM is starting to fall. So we may take this on the eval accounts. So like if I do end up shorting here, I'm gonna put this on the chart before I enter. Stop's gonna be above here, target's gonna be down here. So we'd be risking about 30 to 40 points. Looking like, I mean, moving average on the 1 minute is curling up, but YM is having trouble. So okay, there it goes. That was a very, very good entry if I would have gotten in on it. Let's see how we react off of this opening range low. Damn, that would have been a solid entry, man. Look at that. Look at that. Still looking for a short entry here. I'm just trying to play this smart so that we're not just getting burned. I mean, if we, we are struggling here at the opening range low, so could take an entry here, stop above the 50%. That'd just be like a 60-point stop. Wouldn't really want to do that. So let's see if we get any sort of reaction back up before pushing lower. All right, we did touch that 20 SMA. Bulls are trying to push this back up here. Okay, there's a pop. I mean, this is why we wait. This is exactly why we wait. Back up at that entry where I'd marked out. Could take that position there. Just moving so dang fast, man. All right, that's a good sign. We're not pushing back up past that 50% just yet. So, if we, that'd be a 30-point stop there. Yeah, I mean, we're rejecting hard. That was the pullback. That was the pullback to enter, but we can always enter off the break of this low here at 315. Just to see if this does get a bounce back up. It's not looking like it. think I'm going to enter short with my stop above the high here at 397. It's going to be like a 40-point stop. It's just we're fighting here. We're fighting. All right, well, we had the play from the opening range high down to the opening range low on both indices. That's one of the plays that we look for. We got YM kind of struggling here around the 50% of that time-based range. Let's see if NASDAQ and ES want to continue pushing higher from here, or if we fail this 50% and then we can't get above that 70%, that would be a good sign that we are going to go lower. But you can see how the moving averages are kind of pointing up. All right, I'm going to go short here. Using the stop loss on this position as the original stop, or as the stop for this position, it's going to be right around 410. So if we do pop up from here,
order filled,
we're not going to get hurt too bad. It may want to come up and sweep that high before going lower. If that's the case, I mean, that's fine. We're risking about 40 points. Let me see. Our entry was 270.25. Stop loss is 410.75. Yeah, so we're risking about 40 points, but that's okay. If it does get stopped out, then we'll be okay. We're not going to be hurting too bad. using that bias of this 50%, wanting to hold. If we do get past the 50%, then we could see higher pricing. Looking like it does want to push higher, but we could see the market just take a turn very quickly, as we've seen it do before. There goes YM, leading the charge to the downside. ES and NASDAQ want to follow. Y'all want to follow? Y'all want to follow YM into traffic? And this very well could just pop up and stop us out and then continue lower. But, I'm playing what I see, playing the failure of this 50% of the time-based range, as we've seen happen so many times before. What happens in the past doesn't have to happen again in the future, but that's just what a pattern that I've noticed, something that I've watched. So there goes YM, there goes ES. Come on. Please tell me that I didn't play the temperamental asset today. Yeah, I mean, if you feel paralyzed just waiting to take a trade, but it's good that you're waiting. I feel like that sometimes too. It's like, oh, well, like, oh, I feel stuck, like I don't know, when to enter. And when you feel like that, that's probably the best time to not enter a trade. So I mean, you may feel stuck, you may feel like you're, analysis paralysis, this and that. But that's good. And the fact that you're not just entering a trade to enter a trade is really good discipline. So that's normal, because if the conditions aren't there, then like the conditions aren't there for you to take a trade, then don't take the trade. Okay, we're seeing that move down. We're up about 25 points in this position here on NASDAQ. Back to opening range low. Let's see if we can get below that and keep pushing. We got ES below opening range low. YM is kind of leading the charge right now, so that's a good sign. Let's see us continue from here. Yeah, I feel like that too. Some days, like most days, honestly, I feel like I'm paralyzed to take a trade. Where you see me put a trade idea on, I'm like, this would be a good area to take a short or a long, targeting here, and then in like the next 10 minutes, I'm like, oh look where we went, look what happened, right? Like, so it's normal, It's better than trying to rush the trade. Okay, we're up about 45 points on this position here. I'm not celebrating anything too early. We could always have the market reverse, come up and take our stop out, but my bias is set. The trade is there. We can always cut the trade early. I'm not going to move my stop unless I move it down to break even or in profit, but we're going to let it play out. I mean, my bias was to the downside. I said we might see it take profit taking at the open, and then from there, I'd want to see lower pricing. So let's see. I would want to see us come down and take these session lows though relatively quickly, just so that we do break structure or continue the structure of bearish price action. But the market can do what it wants. It's been very volatile today, the last couple of days. I think the only day that wasn't was Monday and Tuesday. Well, Tuesday, whatever day we had with the fucking news that dropped, um, where it took all day for ES to get anywhere, like literally all day and then into the evening session. So better conditions, you know, today. Yesterday was pretty good too. We're up about 50 points in the short. Okay, we did take this internal low at 316, back below the opening range low. Come on, let's see a push down to that 309. We got like 6 points away from it. Get down there. Okay, there's session lows. I am going to move my stop down to that 390 level here at the 50%. Just in case we do. Okay, what is that? What is that? What is that? Really? We just had a. Okay, something just came out. I moved my take or my stop loss down to this 390 here at the 50% because that is definitely a news. Yeah, that was a news-driven candle. Because what the fuck was that? Really? We were up like 70 points, and then the market just said, no, we're going to turn around completely. What the hell? And then, okay. And then it goes right up to where I move my stop loss to. And then it's rejecting again. That's okay. The market moves in mysterious ways, right? Well, we only lost about 40 bucks on that trade. If this turns around and, you know, comes back down, that's just unfortunate. But we did limit our risk. Didn't want to lose $80, especially on that kind of move back up. And if this comes right back down, then yeah, cool. You know, the market's being the market. Really? It's pretty wild how these fib levels on the swings act as support and resistance after the fact. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. All you can do is laugh at that point, right? Like, because I mean, it took from our entry at like 7:12, it took about 8 minutes to get down to where we were, and then the next minute just completely retraced that entire move. But I moved my stop down. I didn't move it up, you know, to increase my risk. I actually limited my risk a little bit more than what I had on. But again, if this turns around and then comes right back down, I mean, it's not anything that's new to me. Okay, we are seeing YM push back up, ES push back up. We're all right around the 50% on all three industries. Yeah, indices. So let's see how we react from here. we do push higher. Um, there is targets to the upside with the fib that I had drawn on that swing. So we'll play it as we see it. See, and I'm glad that I moved my stop, because if I hadn't moved it down, we still would have gotten stopped out, and it would have been more of a hit than the $40 that we took, an L on. That is some crazy work, though. Definitely some crazy work by NASDAQ. Okay, I mean, we bounced right off of the 200 SMA on the 4-hour on NASDAQ. That was like pretty much right to that level. So that's, I mean, that's just wild. Hindsight's 2020. You can see it coming from a mile away after the fact, but yeah, I mean, not much you can do about it. I mean, look at this. All right, we're back down to entry where we originally entered that short. We do have the moving averages pushing back to the downside on the 5-minute. Okay, that's crazy work. You gotta go? Yeah. All right, be right back. That's some crazy work by NASDAQ. Look at that. We came right back down to the opening range low, and then we just pushed right back up. This is pretty crazy. I want to enter the short again, but I just have a feeling that they're gonna pop this shit right back up. So and then on the 15-minute, we did come back up to that 20 SMA and then push right back down. So like if we wanted to enter a short, I would say that the 70% up here, the like 422 level would be a healthy area for a stop. That would just be too wide for what I want to risk. But I mean, this is crazy work. No other way to put it other than crazy work. I mean, we're bouncing off that opening range low again, which is pretty wild. Let's see what ES is looking like. So we did get that candle back up into the opening range. It'd be like a break of 708 to look for longs on ES. I mean, this is insane. We're right back at entry where we were originally on the short. YM looking like it's finding its base to push higher. What's up, Archer? I mean, look at the two like 30-minute candles. Like, what is that? Just two dojis? It's pretty crazy. You can see here, like on ES, we're finding support at that 10 SMA, pushing back up. Same thing with NASDAQ, YM as well. It's just not a fun place to trade. We are rejecting off that previous day low again. Um, damn, this is moving so fast right now that you could enter and then get stopped out within the next minute candle because the ATR is probably super high right now. Back down to the opening range low. See, it does this and then it'll eventually just break and go. Man. Yeah, we are just ranging, huh? See, then it's just right back up. Pushing right back up. Back up to previous day low on NASDAQ. ES found support off of that and then pushed up a little bit. Let's see. I mean, let's see what happens here, I guess. So the when we were in that trade and we got that candle that just wicked back up or pushed back up and stopped us out, um, you can see how the sweep aligned on the higher time frames. I mean that again, it's all hindsight, right? We can see it now, but even in the moment when that came down and touched here, we didn't even have a second to fucking think before it was back up into pretty much close to our entry. If I would have exited at market and closed, we would have gotten slipped and our fill would have been terrible. Probably would have been at like break even. So like I'm not upset about the L. It's just there was nothing that we could do about that at that time. Price was moving way too fast for us to react. And then by the time that I moved my stop down to that the 50%, we got stopped out. So it came back down a little bit below our entry, like by like 20 points or so, and then I pushed right back up. So not too upset about it. Market's gonna do that, and there's not much we can do about it. YM looking like it does want to go lower, with the moving averages crossing back to the downside here. We got the 15 testing that 20 SMA again. Let's see how it wants to play. We got the 15-minute and the 30-minute sweeping that previous candle's high. Does the hourly want to come up and do that? Maybe. Before, if it wants to see lower pricing, we may want to come up and sweep that wick high there. See what I mean, though? Like, look at how nice London moves, and then look at New York, right? What the fuck? I'm gonna have to mess my sleep schedule up to trade London because this is not it in New York anymore. It's like they just turned the market off. Like, nah, we're done. We had our move. See, then it's like I want to look for longs now, but I know that the second that I get into a long, we're gonna have a fucking an elevator down. I mean, it's just this isn't it. You know, like what is that? 304 to 3. We had a like almost a 90-point candle in a minute. The 5:30 open. Do you mean like last night, like the Asia session, or the pre-market? Yeah, I mean, even just getting up an hour early before the market even fucking opens would be the move, because like look at that, like that, like this from 5:30 to 6:30, and then from 6:30 on, it's just like what the hell is even that, you know? It's okay. We're not revenge trading. We're not gonna get into a position just because we want to. We're not re-entering the short just because we lost on the short. We're just waiting because this is some crazy movement here. Crazy chop. Yeah, pre-market may be the move, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna be on early tomorrow too. I'll try to get up around like 5, be on around 5:15 as well. Um, because this is just terrible. I mean, I'm almost just done trading the New York session because this is fucking awful. Like we get one nice trend day, and then the next 2 days after that are fucking ass. Like terrible. Like this. Sure, there was opportunities like right off the open after we came up and made these highs. Like we were looking for a short here on ES down to opening range low. So there was opportunities, but it's like after the first 30 minutes almost, it's just done. Price action is just terrible after that. See, like look at that. We had this giant ass bullish candle, and now we're coming right back down, rejecting off that upper level here on the time base range. Yeah, more stressful because you like this shit just happens. Like there's not anything that you can say or do or analyze. I mean, you'll see the ICT traders on Twitter later saying, "Oh, I took this FVG, this PCP and DMT and THC." Like it sounds like they're talking about fucking drugs when ICT traders talk. Yeah, I took this poo poo box here to come up and take out the wee wee level at the DMT. It's like, bro, like just fucking talk about price. Like, what are you talking about? the 10-second inverse fair value gap is why you should have taken the trade here. So I mean, whatever. Those traders, they do what they do. It's not for me. All the acronyms and shit just don't make sense. And it's all discretionary. This fair value gap works, but this one doesn't. Why? Because I said so. Like that's how I feel about ICT. Why didn't that setup work when it worked on one of your other posts? Oh, because the the middle finger didn't line up with the pinky toe, so that it's like, bro, just like that's not a system that you can repeat. If it's that discretionary. Oh, it didn't work because of this. Okay, well, it's the same exact setup as what worked previously, so it's not mechanical. All right, we are coming up on 8 o'clock. I'm gonna head out of here right at 8 to get logged into work and take care of that for the day. It's Thursday. If I don't see any other opportunities in the market today, then I may just be done there with the 1L. We were up about 70 points in that trade. Let's see. Let's get the accurate number here. Yep, 65 points. So, again, should I have taken profit? Probably, but at the time I saw price starting to reverse, we were already back up at our entry. So, it is what it is. We saw a couple opportunities earlier, right when the market opened and we had made these highs. We were looking at opening range low. I didn't get an entry on it, which is okay. That you're not going to catch every move, catch every entry. We played the rejection of the 50% of the time-based range. We ended up sweeping outside of that time-based range and then pushing right back up. So not much we can do about that. Roll with the punches. And yeah, we'll see what the market does for the rest of the day. But I may be done there because I don't want to try to force anything and then end up with a bigger loss than what we already have. Let me show you. So we are down about 290 across the accounts today that we did trade, which is okay. We made $100 yesterday on these accounts, so, and 200 on the 50K. So we're still, I don't know if we're net green on the week. Let's see. Yeah, we're still net green on the week. The month, not so much. Hasn't been. We had that Friday at the beginning of August where kind of blew up a little bit. But yeah, so we're still green on the week, which is what I like to look at. And then we will, come back tomorrow. If I don't take any more trades, we'll get on the charts a little bit earlier and we'll catch some of this beautifully moving price and not this fucking chop that literally poop out the butt. That's what this price action is. It's like you gave a 2-year-old a crayon and said, draw a roller coaster. This is what that price action looks like. So, I mean, I'm already seeing a lot of people on, social media on X pissed off at this price action today. I mean, you see it every day, Uh, so I mean, if you had a tough day, it's not just you. We took a little L, 20-point loss. Managed our risk. I'd say we managed our risk pretty well on that because even if we had our stop loss at the original area we had it, we would have gotten stopped out. And look at this, we're right back down to our entry and a little bit below it from that short. So did price want to come up and retest this level of the time-based range before continuing lower? Maybe. If we can't push back up past this 50%, maybe a good area, to take a short down to our original target of the pre-market lows here. But we'll see. The moving averages on the 5-minute look like they want to cross up above the 50. The 15, rejected off the 20. We're back down at the 10. It's pushing back down on NASDAQ at least. ES isn't quite there yet. YM is pushing up. So very rangy action today. All right. So it's still doing its thing. I'm going to put this position on the chart just to see how it plays out. I may enter it as, if it gives me the opportunity to do so. It's going to be the same short target that I had. Stop loss is going to be above that 50% again. And if we fail to get above this 50 SMA here, then I may, enter that short. I don't really trust the price action today. So with that being said, I am going to call it here on the stream. So, we took one loss, 20-point loss. Not afraid to show that. We will come back tomorrow. I'll be on the charts earlier tomorrow, about an hour earlier than I usually get on. So we'll be up early looking at the charts pre-market, and hopefully, we can catch a trade before the market even opens and be done for the day. So, if you made some money, lock it out. If you're red, I would not recommend trading in this until we get some sort of move. But yeah, overall, decent day. We did have some good, trades that we were eyeing. Didn't execute on them, but that's fine. So we'll come back at it tomorrow, get after it, and hopefully end the week on a good note. But other than that, I will catch y'all later and have a good Thursday. God bless.